is an awful lot of breaking news today. Moments ago, the Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle, tendered her resignation a day after her brutal hearing before the House Oversight Committee. It was a bloodbath. She was awful. She was unprepared. She faced bipartisan demands that she resign. And so, as I predicted, she did. She's out. We also have another huge scandal, and that is Joe Biden stepping out of the race, bowing out without any clear explanation as to why. Evidently, Kamala Harris has the delegate votes, has the delegates now. She's locked in, and ultimately, I guess they're gonna go with her. And, you know, it's easy to play these sort of games, and we make everybody out to be cartoon characters, and it's kind of like a reality TV show, but it's not. This is life and death. This is our country. America's at stake right now. And I want to share with you just how awful the presumed Democrat nominee for president is, Kamala Harris. I want you to know how disgustingly awful this woman is. Not her personal life, not her stupid cackle, not her vapid, imbecile responses, but how deeply nefarious and awful she is. I took you with me, proverbially, to Israel a few months ago. After the October 7th Hamas massacre, we went as the guest of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. We did the show from over there, and incidentally, I want to go back. I want to go back soon. We've got to show Israel support now more than ever. We must support Israel. We have to stand with Israel, one of our closest allies in the world. We are aligned with Israel spiritually. We are aligned with them politically. Israel is a miracle. Israel is what we Christians know to be our deep, close ally. Vice President Kamala Harris, who has just been anointed the Democrat nominee for president as a result of the coup that they committed against Grandpa Joe, Kamala Harris is refusing to do her job and appear before the joint session of Congress address by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. You want to know how awful she is? How radical she is? This presumptive Democrat nominee will not appear tomorrow for Bibi's address before Congress. Now, her role as vice president is to preside over this joint session. Nope, she's not showing up. She's going off to Indiana to campaign. She couldn't be bothered to treat Benjamin Netanyahu and the state of Israel with respect. If you're a Jew and you're going to cast a vote for Kamala Harris, you ought to look in the mirror and wonder what has happened to you. Because I know a whole lot of Christians who are enraged at Kamala Harris's snub of the Israeli prime minister. It is disgraceful. It is an absolute, utter disgrace. It is appalling. And so from where I sit as a big mouth talk show host, let him run with Kamala Harris. We'll beat her. We'll beat her badly on November 5th. Trump is going to win in a landslide. She is, true to her roots, an extremist San Francisco Democrat radical who hates Israel. There was an article that I was digesting over by Jonathan Tobin at the Jewish News Syndicate. In fact, that's where we broadcast our show from when we went to Israel. That's where I want to go back when we return. And again, I intend to return in the near future. Jonathan Tobin writes a great piece asking if Kamala Harris and the Democrats have a Jewish problem. Well, of course they have a Jewish problem. A lot of Democrats are proving that they're anti-Semites. When you've got people marching through the streets of America and on college campuses proclaiming support for the brutal animals of Hamas, you realize you're witnessing anti-Semitism in real time. Great text message from Florida about Kamala Harris. And this is how I want to start the hour. It was all fun and games before when she was just cackles and she was like Selena Meyer. Well, now she has firmly established herself as anti-Semitic scum. I couldn't agree more. This is serious stuff we're talking about. We're talking about matters of life and death. We're talking about a Secret Service detail that apparently knew that there was a guy on a roof with a gun and let Donald Trump walk out onto that stage. Anyway, we've got some very, very serious, epic, monumental days ahead of us. And I am honored and proud and pleased to be able to be here with you, fighting the good fight. Our number is 800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. I hope you join us. I want to put your voice front and center like we always do.
Mike Gallagher.
You know, it's tempting to poke fun and have some levity over time, but this is all serious, and I don't want to bring everybody down, but my gosh, we're talking about some serious stuff. And we got two big scandals that are facing us right now, staring us in the face. And of course, the other scandal is going to be, and the two scandals are simple. Joe Biden stepping down without any real explanation as to why. We don't know if it's his health. We don't know if it's the polling or a combination of both. If you're going to tell me that Joe Biden threw in the towel because he looked at Rasmussen or the Emerson polling group or the New York Times Siena poll and said, yeah, I guess I can't win, that's preposterous. If you're going to tell me he's too sick to run, then they need to tell us that. And of course, the other scandal is going to be this disgusting way the media is going to elevate Kamala Harris. It wasn't hours after she emerged as the presumptive nominee when this exchange happened on CNN. You want to know why people loathe CNN? I don't even know this reporter's name, but this is how this is the line of hardball questioning from CNN of Kamala Harris.
Let me ask you one more question. I'm struck just in your presence. I was watching you on stage, watching the reactions from the crowd, looking you in the eye with your passion that you were displaying and talking about so many issues. And yet you hear candidates suggesting that a vote for President Biden because of his age is somehow a vote for you, and that is hurled as an insult. It's intended to
turn it off. I mean, blech. I'm struck in your presence of your eyes gazing out on the crowd and the crowd gazing back at you. Yeah, CNN. Just think that woman is proud of the work she does. She gets a big fat paycheck to kiss Kamala Harris's rear end. David's in Texas. We'll start there. 22 past the hour. Our number is 800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. How you doing, David?
Hey, Mike. Joe, he would love to come out and explain to America why he dropped out, but the problem with that is Jill is keeping him way too busy right now.
With what?
They're searching for shopping for a new beach house up there with the payoff he took to drop out.
I mean, that's a lot of people have suggested he got something out of this. Maybe it's the pardon of Hunter Biden. Maybe he'll pardon Hunter on his way out. Maybe he'll resign the presidency only with the I mean, this is a scenario that is very plausible. He resigns from the presidency, Kamala Harris becomes president, and he did so because he got her to agree to pardon Hunter Biden. And, you know, if all that happens before November 5th, while she's acting president, again, once more, Trump wins in a landslide. Every scenario points to Trump winning in a landslide. Matt in Malden, South Carolina. Matt, welcome to the show.
For taking my call, Mike.
You bet, Matt.
I listen every day.
Thank you.
First time getting through.
Well, I'm glad you made it. Welcome aboard. Glad you're here.
My question is, what are the chances that on his way out the door, Biden will pardon his son?
Well, that's just it. I mean, don't you have a feeling that there was some deal struck as part of him throwing in the towel, giving up the race?
Absolutely. And if he's on his way out the door anyways and no one likes him and he can't be the president again because of his age or his mental health, then why not, right?
Yeah, but you know what's funny about the narrative that nobody likes him? Nobody likes Kamala. Who likes her?
No, that's a horrible idea for the worst vice president in history to become our president. That just is a very scary, scary thought.
You're right, Matt. You're right. Good to hear from you. A one open line, 800-655-MIKE. You know, we went from hoping, even though I knew it wasn't going to happen, we hoped that Biden would stay in. Now we got to hope that Kamala stays in. Now we got to hope that they run with her. She's got the delegates. I don't know, all the process about an open convention and whether there's going to be a free-for-all. I mean, imagine this is the woman. This is not AI. This is not an actress. This is not a comic pretending to be Kamala Harris. This is actually Kamala Harris explaining the war in Ukraine.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
Now, again, it's easy to laugh at that. You can make fun of that and say she's a moron. Examine her core beliefs. Look at her ideology. You need to know what she's about. She is officially described as being to the left of Bernie Sanders. She has voted more radically than Bernie Sanders. And I go back to where I started. She's so radical and hates Israel so much and is so willing to disrespect the state of Israel so badly that she is refusing to attend Bibi Netanyahu's joint session of Congress tomorrow. This is a deep, dark, diabolical, radical leftist. And we better be real careful not to get distracted by the cackling, by the Willie Brown relationship, her past, all the crap in the past. None of that matters. What matters is who she is today. And she is awful. She is awful. And two words that Trump ought to use over and over and over again: border czar. Remember, she was tasked with solving the problem at the border. Remember when she sat down on the Today Show?
We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
You don't understand the point that Lester Holt was making? He's standing there in a state of shock that you're insisting we've been to the border. He said, well, you haven't been to the border. And she responds with, well, I haven't been to Europe. Ah, okay, got it. Go with her, Democrats. You're in great shape.